Hi guys, this is Rainer, and I'm going to show you a quick fun deck video since it's coming up for the holidays. I thought I'd show you why I think that Barcgal is still banned from being a starting Vanguard. This is an example deck of what you can do with this. I will explain a bit more after I've shown you what the deck is, but this is a Royal Gold hybrid. Basically, we start off with, when I actually find the focus. No, it's not going to focus. There we go. Right, Barcgal as the starting Vanguard. And if you don't know what it does, because you've either not been in the game for that long or whatever, you can rest it and call a Flowgull or Lou from your deck, and when a Royal Paladin rides it, you may call it to rearguard. And basically, then you get into your 2 Lou. I've only got 1 Lou, but I'm just, for example, showing you it as a proxy. But Lou, and its ability is Counterblast 1, choose a Future Knight Lou, a Barcgal, and a Flowgull from your rearguard. Put them into your soul, and if you've got a grade 1 Vanguard, search your deck for a card named Blaster Blade and ride it. And then shuffle your deck. So you've got your 2 Lou, then 2 Flowgull, just for that effect only. You don't like stand triggers, well, not in this deck. And then this is where it gets slightly different. All you've seen is Royal Paladin so far. Then we've got 4 of Silent Punisher, which is the crit trigger for Gold Paladin. So you can see, you might be able to see where this is going. 4 of the draw trigger, and 4 of the heal trigger. And I'll explain why I've done this the way I have once I've actually finished showing you the deck list. We have 4 Madden, 4 Soul Guiding Elf, which is the Counterblast 1 for Royal Paladin. Counterblast 1, it gets 1000 for Royal Paladin. 2 Midubird, which is the air mode. When it boosts an attack hits, you can ditch a card to draw a card for Royal Paladin. Then we have 4 Halo Shield Mark, which is perfect guard for golds. 3 Silverfang Witch, and this is only because the third one of this should be a Charge Goal, but you can run it. I'm running it with this at the moment. And then 2 Charge Goal. This should be 3, but you can debate about that all you like. So that's all the grade 1s. These are the only 2 grade 2s. We have 2 Blaster Blade, and then for grade 3s we run 12. 4 Garmor, because in my opinion, Garmor is probably the most broken card in the game by itself. 4 Sagramore, just because hitting 21 is really easy with it, and it's a nice big number that'll make your opponent guard lots. And Lucan, just because I don't fancy running anything else at the moment. You can run other bits and bobs, so I mean, right now that I've shown you it, I'll get on to explaining how this works. Basically, you start off with your Barcgal. And turn 1, ideally you ride it with one of these cards. Well, ideally one of those 2, but you can ride that as well. And that then triggers Barcgal's effect. You move it to rearguard. You then rest it, and you call your Flowgull. And then you do it that way so you can boost your Vanguard's attack. So you attack, or you just leave it there depending on whose turn it is. And then you leave it. The next turn, unless you've got this in hand, you don't ride, although I'd probably still just search it and do it anyway, it's too good not to. You search again, get your Lou, you then Counterblast 1, you move these all to the soul, and then you call a Blaster Blade from deck. In the very unlikely chance that you can use its ability, you can, but then you look at the soul by now, and we have 4 in soul for this turn, and by your grade 3 turn you'll have 5 in soul. So basically it opens up your Garmor, Silverfang Witch and Charge Goal plays really nicely. So that's why I run these. I only run 10 Royal Paladin grade 1s just because you need to ride a Royal Paladin on top of Barcgal to get its ability off. Otherwise, if you ride a gold, it doesn't call to rearguard and it screws you up completely. So you need to ride a Royal. That's why I run Soul Guiding Elf rather than and Midubird rather than different clanned ones. And the only other issue with this deck is you need to try and call a Royal and a Gold turn 1 so you can get your triggers off. Just because you want to get your triggers off. That's the only issue I found with this deck, that you've got to be careful about that. Right, I play 4 Mark because all my grade 3s are Gold Paladin and I want to protect my Vanguard when it's grade 3. so that's why I run those. And as I've said, Silverfang Witch, when you've used Blaster Blade's effect, you can get 2 of these off without actually worrying, which is why I only run 2. I would only run 2 if I had another Charge Goal, but I've only got 2 Charge Goal. But because you've got all the soul, you can call a Charge Goal with your Garmor. You can have a Garmor column 21 and a Vanguard column 26. It's big numbers, and that's what you want to try and do. And in the rare occasion, you can just normal call your second Blaster Blade and kill a dude. I have done it. It was quite lolsy, because I was mucking about with a couple of mates, Andy and Mitch, just to try and show what this can do. And I did it at locals on Sunday as well, and they couldn't quite believe that you can do it. But yeah, I'm going to explain why I run the grade 3s I do. Garmor has got probably the most broken effect in the game. I'll tell you what it does just in case for some reason you don't know what it does. It's Limit Break 4. When it attacks a Vanguard, it gets plus 5k until the end of that battle. And it's also got, when it's placed on the Vanguard unit, you may Counterblast 2. Search your deck for a grade 2 or less Gold Paladin, call it to rearguard, and then shuffle your deck. Basically, you use this effect to either get a Charge Gull or a Silverfang Witch. Yeah, it's Silverfang Witch. And you Soul Blast and you draw, or you have a nice big column. So either way, this is getting a nice booster. And then Sagramore, I run Sagramore because with an 8k behind it, that's hitting 21 if you use its Counterblast. If you have the 6k Charge Goal behind it, that's 16, that's still not a bad number. If you have Soul Guiding Elf, you can use both their Counterblast ones to make it 21. So I'm just trying to think of numbers here. And because we do have all the other gold grade 3s, but they're all not really useful as rearguard, I might use a Gigantic Charger or whatever the 12k dude is instead of Lucan. But Lucan's actually really quite handy as a Vanguard, because if you check a grade 3 and oh look, I have 12 of them, if you drive check a Gold Paladin grade 3, it gets plus 5k. So it means that even if I've got a Charge Goal behind it because I'm waiting for the Garmor ride, it means that if I drive check a grade 3, it's going to be a plus 5. So it means your grade 3s are like triggers, which makes up for you not having your full set of triggers by the time you ride the Blaster Blade. But you don't have to run golds. I'm just choosing to do it. But you can, for example, run Gokus and run Kageros. It's the same idea. You want to try and get your Vanguard's abilities off as much as possible. But I've just thought I would show you this. It's something that I've been toying about with, and this is why, in my opinion, Blaster Blade Barcgal is banned as a starting Vanguard, just purely because it means that you don't have to run Royal Paladins in your Royal Paladin deck. You can get away with running just your 2 Blaster Blades as your only grade 2s, and leave the rest of your... you can even just run this as Royal Paladins if you really, really want. But I think it's better with only running the grade 3s. But that's the end of that, so let me know what you think. And this is Rainer.